Hello, Deanna. Grand Rising, Karen. Hello, darling. Hello, Christina. Hello, beautiful angel. Hello, Cinnamon. Hearts. Grand Rising, Val. Beauty finds, beauty finds, beauty finds. Crossing time to tell the future. Oh, that's awesome, Christina. That is amazing. See that? Everything happens for a reason, girl. Yep, everything happens for a reason. They are the ones that did the interview with, and they do a meditation every Sunday, I believe it is. Kind of like the meditation, kind of like what we do, create the creation of the new earth, but they do it every Sunday. Yep. Hello, Trina. Hello, beautiful angel. I wish they did something online, because I would do that, but I'm not going to travel 2 hours to do it. Yep, the Sisterhood of the Rose. Peace, unity, and service. Maybe we can create it ourselves. I've never really done that much research on them, but I know that they are like it's all females. I know that. And it's it has to do with Mother Mary too. Yes. But like I was saying, they've done interviews with Cobra, who is part of the Portal 2012. That was when I first heard about them. And then I looked up where they were here in Florida, and they were too far. A lot of nuns, yeah. Hello, Christy. Hi, beautiful angel. Yeah. Today we are going to do another chapter for Airl. See what else Airl had to say. Even though a lot of the stuff is outdated, some of you guys don't know anything about it. So it's good to go back and to know, right? It's good to know. And then we're going into the next chapter of the Phoenix Journals, which is about UFOs. And that's as far as I got, but it's about Space Gate. Space Gate, which they just erected a space gate that sits on top of a pyramid. The lady called it a hill, but it's a pyramid. And maybe we'll learn more about that object. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Sharon. Hello, beautiful. Yes. Represent us. Yes, Christina. Yep, crop circles. Look at that, April. See? Everything you manifested it. You manifested that. All right, that was Sky Sent. Haha, Intel Galactic Operation announcement. Well, I guess this wants to be said. So nothing can stop what is coming. The storm events are underway on planet Earth. Part of Operation Freedom Earth, Masterpiece, Pandora, and Storm. And in accordance with the Galactic Codes 11 and the Universal Law of 1:17, Earth time, the Councils of Light issued a green light to go directive to all planetary light forces to commence the largest dark energy cleanup operation ever deployed on the surface of the Earth. Mission objective to remove all harmful entities from positions of power and influence from the surface of planet Earth. Yep. It is happening, guys. It is happening. All right. Everything I do it for you. Everything Spirit does, is done for us, not to us. Yay, April. I'm glad you get to see your brother. You manifested that. You manifested it. So that's amazing. Okay. The power of 3, and it is done. Yes, so it be so. Yes. All right. Let us see what we have from messages from the universe, from our higher selves to us. Self-discipline, the solar plexus. Yes. My self-discipline and willpower will significantly help me in my efforts to move forwards and grow. Hi, Christine. Hi, beautiful. I am free of the need for the approval of others. I am free of the need. I face each challenge with determination and courage, and I am determined to live my life to its fullest potential. I am strong and capable. My actions speak louder than my words. Yes. Grand Rising, Teresa. Hi, beautiful angel. Hey, Tammy Lou. Hi, beautiful angel. And Miss BX, I love you. Love you all. Positive action. These are our healing energy oracle. Healing energy oracle. Positive actions. I focus on the beauty in me and I find silence. I live and honor the present by doing what I can do now. What I cannot change, I let go of and entrust to God. Hello, Todd. Hello, darling. Trust. I trust life and my strengths. Each moment guides me to the light. Everything on my path is placed there for my growth. Yes. Yes. Hello, Mama Bear. Hello, hippie. Hello, darling. And creation. Creation. I have the power to direct my life with a constructive attitude. I create what is best for my soul. I firmly believe I can transform and improve my inner and outer worlds by turning every thought into affirmative action. And I act in the image of God and bring light into my life. Yes, we are creators. We can create whatever we want in this life. Here is our... Hello, Julia. Hello, darling. Here is our work your light. Work your light. These are our rainbow cards. The answer is yes today. Just say yes. Yesterday it was no. Today it's yes. Just say yes. Pleiades. Yes. Double mission. Always getting the double mission. Channeling and uplifting humanity. Yes. Grab that rainbow light code. Bring it into you. You sent it again on Facebook? Okay. All right. I will look for it. Trust your path. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And then know you are supported. Mission possible. Yes. Sometimes we bite off a lot in this life. We bite off a lot. We sure do. But I'll tell you what, we are chewers. We are chewers. We bite off what we can chew, not more than we can chew. We bite off what we can chew. The rainbow. We got the rainbow again with our healing water oracle. Sweet relief. New beginnings, a new way forward. The rainbow bridges, yes. Jump in the middle of your calling, yes, absolutely. Ah, look at that. You just said jump in the middle of your calling, and this is plunge. Don't hold back. It's time. Go for it. Dive in. Dive in. Yes. And the mist. Trust your inner compass. Be led from within. Trust your intuition. Trust. And let spirit guide you. Let your higher self guide you. Let your higher self guide you. I know, Christina, it's magical. It's absolutely magical. All right, the message from the angels is be honest with yourself. Be honest. Look onto your heart, and you will know the truth of the situation. And it's safe to admit the truth to yourself, for we will support and guide you through any necessary changes. Lean upon us for courage and the strength to take good care of yourself. Focus only upon your true desires, and they'll come to you upon angels' wings. Yes. Mystical manifestors, absolutely. Here's our fairy card for the day, and it says, come together. Come together. Fairies like to be busy, and a group of them is showing you that many hands make light work. Working as a team helps get the job done. Yes, we work as a team. We sure do. Hi, Anna. Hi, beautiful angel. Here is Yeshua's message to us. Heal the sick that are therein, and say unto them, the kingdom of God is come nigh unto you. Heal the sick. Look at that. Yes. Here is our animal oracle, the heron patience. I get these in my front yard a lot. Create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. Patience. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. All right, and here is our awakened dreamer. Awakened dreamer. I Magic Nation. Imagic Nation. Yes. Oh, that's awesome, April. That's so amazing. Really? The movie Julian and you watched last night was The Boy and the Heron. Wow, there are no coincidences. I Magic Nation, there's no limit to your creative brilliance. With a simple brushstroke of your imagination, envision your life the way you dream it would be, and your loved ones as their most resplendent selves. Delight as your up-leveled internal reality manifests sumptuously in your outer world. Yes, imagination. Use your imagination to create. All right, let's go through the portal. But before we go through the portal, we are going to do our mantra. So we call forth from within the light of source. Thank you for standing at the forefront of our hearts and minds. Thank you for activating the ancient wisdom of our souls. We welcome in the support of heaven, earth, the stars, light beings, and beyond. We choose to anchor the energy of remembrance in unity, peace, love, and wholeness through the great pyramids, bringing our energy in service to the earth and to the light for the wholeness all life everywhere, to support all in remembering the truth of who and what we are, for our highest good and the highest good of the planet. And so it is. And so it is. And universe is sending us our song, love song. Love song. Yes. And the portal we are going through is the Shambhala initiations. Retreating to recharge, trusting in the process. Dharma. Dharma. Where do we hear this word dharma? We heard the word dharma in the path of the Chela. We heard the word dharma. We also heard the word dharma in the Phoenix Journals. In the Phoenix Journals. Yes, absolutely, Christy. Yep. All right, here's our butterfly for the day. And it says, I soothe away anxiety and stress by choosing to do things that help me relax. Yes. Do things that help you relax. And our ascended master for the day, who is going to be with us today? Shall we see? Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Love is all around you. The teacher awakens. The rose. Oh my goodness. It's the sisterhood of the rose. Mary Magdalene is part of the sisterhood of the rose. As is Mother Mary. The two Marys. Yup, that's confirmation for you, Christina. That's confirmation. Mary Magdalene. Oh, I love it. So good. So good. All right. We are going to get into the words of Airl and see what he has to say. Let me just check real quick. See if there is any messages from... Let's see. Nope. Don't see any. Okay. So we are going to look at, oh, this is the timeline. This is a timeline of events. This is a personal note. Her name, the name of the lady that did the interview with the alien, her name was Matilda O'Donnell. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy. Yes. Yep. You released a lot of baggage yesterday. Good for you, nature. Good for you. Grand Rising, Victoria. Hi, beautiful angel. So she says, for this interview, I took written notes because Airl gave me a lot of dates and names that I couldn't possibly remember without writing them down. Uh-oh, we're getting names and dates. Interesting. All right. Turn it up a little bit. All right. Okay. I didn't usually take notes, but during this lesson, I thought it was important to get the information exactly as she gave it to me. However, I discovered that my note-taking made it much more difficult for me to focus on receiving the communication from Airl. I was sometimes so distracted by my own writing that I lost the train of her thought, so I had to ask her to repeat herself several times. Airl continued to stay in communication with the communications officer on the asteroid belt space station, from which she received much of this information. Since Airl was an officer, pilot, engineer of the domain and not a historian, she had to get this information from records of reconnaissance missions conducted by other officers of the Domain Expeditionary Force. Okay. All right, official transcript of the interview. Top secret official transcript of the U.S. Army Air Force, Roswell Army Airfield. Alien interview, 7/27/1947. The actual history of Earth is very bizarre. It is so nonsensical that it is incredible to anyone on Earth who attempts to investigate it. A myriad of vital information is missing from it. A huge conglomeration of non-sequitur relics and mythology has been arbitrarily introduced into it. The volatile nature of the Earth itself cyclically covers, drowns, mixes, and shreds physical evidence. These factors, combined with amnesia and post-hypnotic suggestions, false facades, and covert manipulation, make the reconstruction of the factual origins and history of Earth civilizations virtually indecipherable. Any investigator, no matter how brilliant, is doomed to wallow in a quagmire of inconclusive assumptions, unworkable hypothesis, and perpetual mystery. Since the domain does not suffer these afflictions, having the advantage of memory, longevity, and an exterior point of view, I will add some clarifications to your fragmentary knowledge of the history of Earth. These are some of the dates and events that are not mentioned in Earth history textbooks. These dates are significant because they provide some information concerning the influences of the old empire and of the domain on Earth. Although I have attended several briefings by our mission control personnel on the general background of Earth within the past few hundred years, I will rely principally on data gathered from records captured after our invasion of the old Empire planetary headquarters. Since that time, the Domain Expeditionary Force has tracked the general progress of events on Earth. As I mentioned, in some cases, the Domain has chosen to intervene in certain affairs on Earth in order to ensure the success of our long-term expansion plans. Although the Domain has no interest in Earth per se, or in the population of Isbys on this planet, it does serve our interests to ensure that the resources of Earth are not destroyed or spoiled. To that end, certain officers of the Domain have been sent to Earth on reconnaissance missions from time to time to gather information. However, the following dates and events have been extrapolated from the accumulated information in the data files of the Domain, at least those that are accessible to me through the Space Station Communications Center. 208,000 BCE, the establishment of the old empire, whose headquarters were located near one of the tail stars in the Ursa Major, Big Dipper constellation of this galaxy. The old empire invasion force conquered the area with nuclear weapons sometime earlier. After the radioactivity subsided and the cleanup and restoration were completed, it received the immigration of beings from another galaxy into this galaxy. And those beings set up a society that kept going until about 10,000 years ago, when it was superseded by the domain. Very recently, Earth civilization has come to resemble aspects of that civilization now that it has fallen out of its immediate control. In particular, the appearance and technology of transportation, such as planes, trains, ships, fire engines, and automobiles, as well as what you consider to be modern or futuristic architecture, which emulate the design of buildings in the major cities of the old empire. Before 75,000 BCE, the domain records contain very little information about the civilizations on the continental land masses of Atlanta and Lemur, except to note that they did coexist on Earth at more or less the same time. Apparently, both civilizations were founded by remnants of electronic space opera cultures who fled from their native planetary systems to escape political or religious persecution. The domain knows that a long-standing edict of the old empire prohibits unauthorized colonization of planets. Therefore, it is possible that their destruction was caused by police or military forces who pursued the colonists as criminals and destroyed them. Although this seems a likely supposition, no conclusive evidence exists that explains the complete destruction and disappearance of two entire electronic civilizations. Robin just came on and Rockin' Robin was playing. That's funny. Another possibility is that a massive submarine volcanic eruption in the region of Lake Toba in Sumatra and Mount Krakatoa in Java caused the destruction of Lemuria. The floodwaters caused by the eruption overwhelmed all the land masses, including the highest mountains. Survivors of the destruction of the civilization, the Lemurians, are the earliest ancestors of the Chinese. Australia and the ocean areas to the north were the center of the Lemurian civilization and are the source of Oriental races. Both civilizations possessed electronics, flight, and similar technologies of space opera cultures. Apparently, the volcanic eruption expelled such a significant mass of molten rock that the resulting vacuum beneath the crust of Earth caused great areas of the land masses to sink below the oceans. The continental areas occupied by both civilizations were covered with volcanic matter and then submerged, leaving very little evidence that they ever existed, except for legends of a global flood which prevail in every culture of the earth, and for survivors who are the genius of Oriental races and cultures. That kind of colossal volcanic explosion fills the stratosphere with toxic gases which are carried around the whole planet. It was in the destruction of Tiamat that contributed to the flood. I believe so, Jaden. It's good to see you here, darling. The usual refuse of these volcanic eruptions can easily cause a rain that lasts for 40 days and 40 nights. Due to atmospheric pollution, as well as an extensive period during which radiation from the sun is deflected back into space and cause global cooling. Certainly, such an event would cause an ice age, extinctions of life forms, and many other relatively long-term changes lasting thousands of years. Due to the myriad types of naturally occurring global cataclysmic events which are indigenous to Earth, it is not a suitable planet for habitation by ISBs. In addition, there have been occasional global cataclysms caused by ISBs, such as the one that destroyed the dinosaurs more than 70 million years ago. That destruction was caused by intergalactic warfare, during which time Earth and many other neighboring moons and planets were bombarded by atomic weapons. Atomic explosions cause atmospheric fallout, much like that of volcanic eruptions. Most of the planets in this sector of the galaxy have been uninhabitable deserts since then. Hey, Phoenix. Hi, beautiful angel. Yeah, it's like, think about how Mars is now. Just uninhabitable desert. Earth is undesirable for many other reasons. Heavy gravity and dense atmospheres. Floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, polar shifts, continental drifts, meteor impacts, atmospheric and climatic changes, to name a few. What kind of lasting civilization could any sophisticated culture propose to develop in such an environment? That's kind of true, huh? Yes. There was nuclear weapons way before the Earth beings even thought about them. Look at Tartaria. There was free energy. Tartaria, all the buildings in Tartaria and Tartaria was a place of giants. The Nephilim lived in Tartaria. In addition, Earth is a small planet of a rim star of a galaxy. This makes Earth very isolated geographically from the more concentrated planetary civilizations, which exist toward the center of the galaxy. These obvious facts have made Earth suitable for use only as a zoological or botanical garden, or for its current use as a prison, but not much else. Before 30,000 BCE, Earth started being used as a dumping ground and prison for ISBs who were judged untouchable, meaning criminal or nonconformists. ISBs were captured, encapsulated in electronic traps, and transported to Earth from various parts of the old empire. Underground amnesia stations were set up on Mars and on Earth in the Rwenzori Mountains in Africa, in the Pyrenees Mountains of Portugal, and in steppes of Mongolia. And these electronic monitoring points create force screens designed to detect and capture ISBs when the ISB departs the body at death. ISBs are brainwashed using extreme electronic force in order to maintain Earth's population in state of perpetual amnesia. Further population controls are installed through the use of long-range electronic thought control mechanisms. These stations are still in operation, and they are extremely difficult to attack or destroy, even for the domain, which will not maintain a significant military force in this area until a later date. Again, remember, this was written in 1954. We have since then taken down all of this technology. And it's in pieces on our moon at this time, because the moon is not what we think it is. The moon is actually a satellite. Yep. The pyramid civilizations were intentionally created as part of the Isbi prison system on Earth. The pyramid is alleged to be the symbol for wisdom. However, the wisdom of the old empire, we know who the old empire is, right? On planet Earth is intended to operate as part of the elaborate amnesia trap consisting of mass, meaning, and mystery. These are opposite to the qualities of an immortal spiritual being, which have no mass or meaning. An Isbi is solely because it thinks that it is. Yes. Hey, Kateri. Hi, darling. Yes. Okay, so I just told the reason why we're going over this stuff is it's unlocking memories for you guys. It's unlocking memories for everyone in here. It's definitely unlocking my memories. Mass represents the physical universe, including objects such as stars, planets, gases, liquids, energy particles, and teacups. The pyramids were very, very solid objects, as were all of the structures created by the old empire. Heavy, massive, dense, solid objects create the illusion of eternity. Dead bodies wrapped in linen, soaked in resin, placed inside engraved golden coffins, and entombed with earthly possessions amid cryptic symbols create an illusion of eternal life. However, dense, heavy physical universe symbols are the exact opposite of an Isbi. An Isbi has no mass or time. Objects do not endure forever. An Isbi is forever. Meaning, oh my God, Stairway to Heaven's playing. False meanings prevent knowledge of the truth. The pyramid cultures of Earth are a fabricated illusion. They are nothing more than false civilizations contrived by the old empire mystery cult called the Brothers of the Serpent. Look at that. The Brothers of the Serpent mentioned again. Hey, Mark. Hey, darling. False meanings were invented to create the illusion of a false society to further reinforce the amnesia mechanism among the intimates in the Earth prison system. Mystery is built of lies and half-truths. Lies cause persistence because they alter facts, which are comprised of exact dates, places, and events. When truth is known, a lie no longer persists. If the exact truth is revealed, it is no longer a mystery. The Isbi, since they just are, did they help to create things? Phoenix, we are the Isbis. We are the eternal Isbis here on the planet. She went over the definition of an Isbi in the beginning of this. Yes, absolutely. Yep. So all of the pyramid civilizations of Earth were carefully contrived of layer upon layer of lies, skillfully combined with a few truths. The priest cult of the old empire combined sophisticated mathematics and space opera technology with theatrical metaphors and symbolism. All of these are complete fabrications of truth, baited with the allure of aesthetics and mystery. The intricate rituals, astronomical alignments, secret rites, massive monuments, marvelous architecture, artistically rendered hieroglyphs, and man-animal gods were designed to create an unsolvable mystery for the Isby prison population of Earth. The mystery diverts attention away from the truth that Isbys have been captured, given amnesia, and imprisoned on a planet far, far away from their home. The truth is that every single Isby on Earth came to Earth from some other planetary system. Not one person on Earth is a native inhabitant. Human beings did not evolve on Earth. We knew that. We knew that. In the past, Egyptian society was run by the prison administrators or priests, who in turn manipulated a pharaoh, controlled the treasury, and kept the inmate population enslaved physically and spiritually. In modern times, the priests have changed, but the function is the same. However, now the priests are prisoners too. Mystery reinforces the walls of the prison. The old empire feared that the Isbys on Earth might regain their memory. Therefore, one of the primary functions of the old empire priesthood is to prevent Isbys on Earth from remembering who they really are, how they came to Earth, and where they came from. The old empire operators of the prison system and their superiors do not want Isbys to remember who murdered them, captured them, stole all of their possessions, sent them to Earth, gave them amnesia, and condemned them to eternal imprisonment. Oh, we know. We know. Imagine what might happen if all of the inmates in the prison suddenly remembered that they have the right to be free. What if they suddenly realize that they have been falsely imprisoned and rise up as one against the guards? Game on. Yes. They are afraid to reveal anything that looks like the civilization of the inmates' home planets, a body, a piece of clothing, a symbol, a spaceship, an advanced electronics device, or any other remnant of civilization from a home planet could remind a being and rekindle his memory. Sophisticated technologies of entrapment and enslavement, which were developed over millions of years in the old empire, have been applied to the Isbys on Earth with the intention to create a false facade for the prison. These facades were installed on Earth in totality all at once. Every piece is a fully integrated part of the prison system. This includes a religion of mumbo-jumbo doublespeak. Every pyramid civilization uses this as part of a control mechanism to keep the population enslaved by force, by fear, and by ignorance. The indecipherable muddle of irrelevant information, geometric designs, mathematical calculation, astronomical alignments are part of a false spirituality based on solid objects rather than immortal spirits, in order to confuse and disorient the Isbys on Earth. When the body of a person died, they were buried with their earthly possessions, including their former body wrapped in linen to sustain their soul or ka. after death. An Isby does not have a soul. An Isby is a soul. We aren't this body. We are the eternal soul inside this body. Yes. On the home planet of an Isby, their material possessions were not lost, stolen, or forgotten when the being died or left the body. An Isby could return and claim the possessions. However, if the Isby has amnesia, they will not remember that they had any possessions. So governments, insurance companies, bankers, family members, and other vultures can pick their possessions clean without fear of retribution from the deceased. The only reason for these false meanings is to instill the idea that an Isby is not a spirit but a physical object. This is a lie. It is a trap for an Isby. Countless people have spent endless hours attempting to solve the jigsaw puzzle of Egypt and other old empire civilizations. They are puzzles made of pieces that do not fit. A question states its own answer. What is the mystery of Egypt and other pyramid cultures? Mystery. That is the mystery. Circa 15,000 BCE, the old empire forces supervised the construction of a hydraulic mining operations in the Andes Mountains in present-day Bolivia near Lake Titicaca, including construction of the massive stone complex of carved stone buildings known as Calisaya and its Gate of the Sun at an elevation of nearly 14,000 feet. Gate of the Sun. 11,600 BCE. The polar axis of Earth shifted to a sea area. The last ice age came to an end abruptly as the polar ice caps melted and the level of the ocean rose to submerge large sections of the land masses of Earth. The last remaining vestiges of Atlantis and Lemuria were covered by water. Massive extinctions of animals occurred in the Americas, Australia, and the Arctic regions due to the shift of the poles. 10,450 BCE. Plans were made by the old empire, Isby called Thoth, for construction of a great pyramid of Giza. The 4 air shafts of the pyramid point precisely to key stars in the old empire. Orion, as seen from Giza in this year. The alignment of the pyramids of Giza on the ground matches perfectly the alignment of the constellation of Orion, like I said, as seen in the sky from Giza relative to the Nile as the earthly representation of the Milky Way in the sky. I've done research on this, and this is truth. There are a bunch of places all over the world that have these calculations. They're like set up in the same formation in different areas of the United States and of the like in Washington D.C. there's actually this formation, and in it is included the White House and where it's located. It's a map that happens over and over and over on the earth, and it all points to the constellation of Orion. And it has to do with the Pyramid of Giza. All right, 10,400 BCE, according to the Earth's historians, Herodotus records from the ruined civilization of Atlantis containing electronic technology and other technology of that society were buried in a vault beneath the paws of the Sphinx. Beneath the paws of the Sphinx. The Greek historian wrote that he was told this by some of his friends who were priests of Anu, the Sumerian god, at the Egyptian city of Heliopolis. Holy wow. Okay. So I am in the town that I am in, Sebring, is a mirror of the Egyptian city of Heliopolis. Also, Force Fairy did a reading of our room. The most recent reading that she did of our room, it has a Sphinx in it. This is crazy. However, it is highly unlikely that any traces of an electronic civilization will be allowed to be left intact on Earth by the old Empire prison system administrators. 8212 BCE, the Veda, or Vedic hymns, are a set of religious hymns that were introduced into the societies of Earth. They came forward in spoken tradition, memorized from generation to generation. The hymn to the dawn child includes an idea called the cycle of the physical universe, the creation, growth, conservation, decay, and death or destruction of energy and matter in a space. These cycles produce time. The same set of hymns describe the theory of evolution. Here is a tremendous body of knowledge which contains a great deal of spiritual truth. Unfortunately, it has been incorrectly evaluated by humans and altered with lies of reversals of fact by priests, which are a booby trap to prevent anyone from using the wisdom to discover a way to escape from the prison planet. The Matrix! They call it the prison planet, escaping the Matrix. 8050 BCE, destruction of the old empire home planet government in this galaxy. This was the end of the old empire as a political entity in the galaxy. However, the vast size of the old empire will take many thousands of years for the domain to conquer completely. The inertia of the political, economic, and cultural systems of the old empire will remain in place for some time to come. Oh, Christina, the sun will rise from the west and set in the east when we return to origin. However, remnants of the old empire space fleet in the solar system of Earth were finally destroyed in 1230 AD. In addition to operatives of the old empire who run the Earth prison operation, there were other beings from the old empire who came to Earth. Since Earth was no longer under control of the old empire after their defeat by the divine forces, there was no police force to control military renegades, space pirates, miners, merchants, and entrepreneurs who came to Earth to exploit the resources of the planet for personal gain, and many other nefarious reasons. For example, the history of Earth, according to the Jewish people, described the Nephilim. I just was talking about this. Chapter 6 of the book of Genesis describes the origin of the Nephilim. Chapter 6 of the book of Genesis. Oh, now it came about when men began to multiply on the face of the land, the daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whomever they chose. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who are of old, men of renown. The ancient Jewish people who wrote the history book called the Old Testament were slaves, herders, and gatherers. Any modern technology, even a simple flashlight, would seem astounding and miraculous to them. They attributed any unexplainable phenomena or technology to the workings of a god. Unfortunately, this behavior is universal among all Isbis who have been given amnesia and cannot remember their own experiences, training, technology, personality, or identity. Yes. Love you, Christina. Have a beautiful day. Obviously, if these were men and they mated with earth women, they were not sons of God. They were Isbis who inhabited biological bodies in order to take advantage of the political situation in the old empire, or simply to indulge in physical sensation. They set up small colonies of their own on earth beyond the reach of the police and tax authorities. Coincidentally, one of the most serious crimes an Isbi could commit in the old empire was to violate income tax regulations. Seriously? Income taxes were used as a slavery mechanism and as a punishment in the old empire. The slightest error in a tax report made an Isbi untouchable, followed by imprisonment on earth. Wow, interesting. Oh, it's talking about PTAH, P-T-A-H. Didn't someone talk about that before? Oh my goodness. Yeah, taxes. Right, Christy. Taxes. We are tax evaders. Oh my goodness. All right, we'll continue this tomorrow, but it's getting good because the next thing I'm just reading up a little bit. It's talking about that PTAH, P-T-A-H. So that was what you were asking about, I believe. But you said it was P-A something, T-A-H. But this is the same thing, I believe. So we're going to learn a little bit about that tomorrow. Interesting. We have 6 minutes till snaps. Say no to taxes. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Vatican wrote Pals. Pals. Isn't that funny? I find that hilarious, Victoria. I find that freaking hilarious. Tax evasion. What did they used to call the... tell us, Wendy. Hello, Lynette. Hello, darling. Oh, PayPal's. Hippie, I did 3 years ago, but they keep sending me reminders. Heard about them from Alex Collier, the Patal. Yeah, they call it P-T-A-H. P-T-A-H in here. Pata. It's interesting. How can you say no to taxes? Hello, Chris. Hi, my BFF. We're just getting ready to do snaps, and then we're going to talk about Spacegate. Spacegate. And we learned some of our Earth's history through Airl. Through Airl. I claim the 5th. I claim the 5th. Hi, Anita. Hi, darling. Fly like an eagle and... Everything's going to be just fine. We have 3 minutes till snaps. Yeah, if you work, they take the taxes. There is no way around that. Yep. 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 My, be alright. Hey, Amy Lynn. Hey, darling. Hello, Yaya. Hello, Pepsi. Hello, Elisa. Yeah. Yeah, especially if you have a government job, you're not going to get out of paying taxes. Yeah. Government. Look up the definition of government. Govern your mind. Ment is mind. So who do you call the entire zodiac system and calendar system that we use today? I don't know. Yeah, or a retail job. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, anytime you use your social security number, right, for a job. I don't know. They're supposedly going to change it to 13 months, but I don't know. We got 1 minute. 1 minute till we create. Yay. You don't in the carnival. Right, Amy Lynn. Yep. All right, guys. Snap, snap, snap. Our angels, guardians, ancestors, dragons, and loved ones are with us while we manifest together. Yes, absolutely. Everyone on the butterfly helps to lends their energy to the creation of our new earth and our past loved ones. Anytime we think of them. This is our room. Miss Forest Fairy did this for us. This is all the energies in our room. The dragon, the pan, the joker, the mother goose, the XOXO, the Ankh, the rabbits, because we go down those rabbit holes, the white rabbit, and the magic. Steffi did that for us to remind us that we're always protected. Our eyes are always on us. And that beautiful crystal painting that Kathy did for us. Divine love is working through us here and now to create our new earth. We have created end suffering. Make love the new foundation. We have created a haven for children to be children and a new education system. We have created 3D detox centers for healing and guidance. We have created peace, love, joy, happiness, and safety. We have created no pollution and no poison. We've created completely open pineal glands for all and a world without violence. And here's a big old lucky hug for everyone in here creating. You all are loved and appreciated. We have created everyone connected back with Earth Spirit energy and source. We've created free energy, free water, clean water. We've created abundance and prosperity to do what we desire. We've created reverse manipulated energy grids, no HARP and no CERN, and a healthy Mother Earth. We've created higher oxygen levels and shelter for everyone. Perfect health for everyone and no more taxes. Cleanup of our soil and better care for our elderly, our animals, our children, and our vets. We started this over 2 years ago on 9/8/22. We continue every weekday here in the Butterfly Sanctuary at 10:11 a.m. EST. This is our healing chain. All these people have asked us to connect our energy with theirs so that they can heal themselves. So however you do that, with light language, with prayer, with crystals, I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael's and have him connect his energy with all these beautiful people. And we are going to send them love, light, and healing energy now. Have a beautiful day, Todd. Love you, brother. All right. Thank you for that. I know all of those people feel our healing energy when we send it. All right, let's get into the Space Gate. This is journal 3 of the Phoenix journals. And like all the rest, I haven't read this yet. So I'm excited to read this with you guys. All right. This is called Space Gate, The Veil Removed. The Veil Removed. This is the foreword. So I am Yorgos Siros Hatan, Commander-in-Chief. Earth. Oh, interesting. Oh. Wow. Okay. Let me keep reading. Earth Project Transition. Pleiades Sector Flight Command. Intergalactic Federation Fleet Ashtar Command. Earth Representative to the Cosmic Council. And Intergalactic Federation Council on Earth Transition. You may call me Hatan. Let there be no misunderstanding of who I am. I come in this portion as a fourth dimensional project commander in charge of Earth transition. As this is most thoroughly explained in other recordings from myself and others, I shall not cover it in this document. This document contains truth which can be validated. It comes forth in dictated format from myself to one of my trans receivers. There is nothing of channeling about it. It is via actual radio type shortwave directly from my source into a receiver terminal. No hocus pocus nor mystical hoopla. This recorder does exactly that, records. She is not privy to the information resources, nor is she given to interpretation, other than as any other reader would personally interpret. Wow. We of the lighted brotherhood of the cosmic and galactic participants are ready to make our presence upon your place. We travel and act in the direct service and under command of Isu Jesus Emmanuel Sananda. Sananda is aboard my command craft, from whence he will direct all evacuation and transition activities as regards the period you ones call the end prophecies of Armageddon. There is no coincidence why I'm reading this today. He has organized placement for his peoples and will oversee all operations as regards his people. All intergalactic fleets are under his command and for purposes of evacuation. Those details are in most capable hands of one called simply Commander Ashtar. There will be more and more frequent contact with ones of human format by ones of our commands. You will ask any energy form contacting you to identify. Demand that if the energy is not of the light of the divine source, to remove itself. Do not entertain any and all energy fragments who appear to you. For more and more of the dark energy forms are making contact. Extreme caution, do not hop aboard any spacecraft which might land. Cause the entities to identify themselves. Instructions for identification of the intergalactic commands are being presented currently and will be forthcoming in a massive way very shortly. This document is for the purpose of awakening you to the horrendous lie that has been perpetuated against you ones. I am giving it to ensure protection of those human ones who dared bring it into the open, and yet risk their lives having done so. My sister's calling. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I just had to make sure it was nothing important because she doesn't call me very often. All right, are you still here? Testing, testing. I can't tell. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so this document is for the purpose of awakening you to the horrendous lie that has been perpetuated against you ones. I am giving it to ensure protection of those human ones who dared bring it into the open and yet risk their lives having done so. I dedicate it to the ones who dared and have been mocked, ridiculed, and persecuted for having dared to give you help to save yourselves from the lies. I go on record to my adversaries herewith and place them on formal notice. You shall not harm one hair of my workers. You shall reap bitterness if you bring physical harm onto them. Now I shall tell you who I am in my high command. I am Aton. Perhaps you might wish to look up that label, for it might prove to be quite important to you. I shall see to it that these instructions are carried forth, so I suggest there be no toying with this, as some game of sorts to be discounted at your next little seminar gathering of flying saucer clubs and crystal worshippers. Your time of playing at star readings, Ouija boards, and tarot to seek your fortunes is over. Earth is going to march right through evolution, transition, tribulation, new birthing, and new birthing just as written. You need no psychic reader to tell you how it will be. You can hide your head in your sand bucket. It will change nothing. There are detailed and magnificent plans in operation to cause the transition to be quite survivable and workable for those of you who so choose to work with us and not in the enemy camp. The evil forces shall be met and stopped, but it will be a most unpleasant confrontation. The Master Isu Jesus Emmanuel Sananda is returned and awaits the appointed time. If you want information, I suggest heartily that you contact Phoenix Source Distributors for any and all information. We will be printing it in numerous volumes as fast as our scribes can receive. I dedicate this work to all who have taken a stand for truth. And of course, my infinite love and appreciation to Dharma, who works hours each and every day in our service. This is but a tiny portion of her works. I so honor my small circle, who are in the building of physical foundations, and yet also see to it that these words are carried forth in truth and disbursement. Also to those who give such unselfish support in so many other ways, without which help we could not proceed. Blessings be yours, little ones, as ye are cherished beyond thy ability to comprehend. I request this book be brought to the public with all haste, for the physical protection of some of thy brothers rests heavily upon its promptness. I place my seal upon these writings of truth. Ye ones must awaken now, for you have slept too long, and your world is crumbling down around thy feet. You are in the final countdown. I am Atan. Commander Hatan present. This is on Friday, August 18th, 1989 at 11:30 a.m. Year 3, Day 2. Commander Hatan present. I see, Dharma, that your mind is scrambled and it annoys you. Leave it in my hands, please. We are going to continue to separate spiritual matters as regards soul survival from things of state and human matters. This is, of course, as much as is possible. It only means that we will effort to keep the documents somewhat in that format of order. A new publication. These portions will be for a new publication or 2 or 3. The number of segments and separate publications will depend on the amount of material. We desire to get it to the people as quickly as possible, so we may publish in segments that one batch of information can be circulating while we write the next. Let us just wait until it falls into order. Dharma is feeling overwhelmed and critically needs rest. It gets harder for her to accept the things coming forth, and we must take time to allow her to handle it. I will please need the banking gray men audio tape transcribed, but first, I think it is time we dealt with the UFO situation in some detail. This matter must be set to straight in that you must realize that what will be coming into your attention is not of the lighted brotherhood. I warned you in the early days of contact. In fact, grandfather warned you on the 9th of August, 1987, that the lighted space brotherhood would be blamed for many, many things. It will thusly come about, for all will be lumped into one binded grouping, which is most erroneous. There is the group of small gray beings that are in total infiltration within your government, etc. They have been very clever, as is their trait, for they have the big boy leader himself, Satan, at helm. And between your military government and scientific community, mingled with their misdirected lies and false information, you are in serious, serious trouble. Your government is fully aware and has been working steadily at self-survival of the top echelon leaders of your country since the early 1950s. I'm going to name names and code operations and integrate these things for you. I will give valid input where lies prevail. This will be a lengthy document, so Dharma, we shall take it step by step, and no, you will not blow up on me. You just type what I give you, little sister. Crashed spacecraft. For many, many years, rumors have persisted that the U.S. government has in its possession spaceships manufactured on other worlds, as well as the occupants of these interplanetary craft, some dead and some yet alive. In your late 1940s and early 50s, both Army and Air Force military units, on direct orders from the Pentagon, rushed to the site of several crashes in the southwestern part of the United States and carried away the unearthly remains of both the craft and alien occupants. Holy shit, guys. Do you know what this story is about? This story's about Airl. Can you believe this? This is the story of Airl. The other story that I just been reading to you. This is nuts. There are no coincidences. The wreckage and bodies were eventually put into deep freeze storage literally and figuratively at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio. Think about what's going on in Ohio. Right? According to your own military sources who later went against orders and talked, the infamous Hangar 18 was used for this purpose, rightly so, among much other covered-up operations and information. Your own Barry Goldwater made several requests and efforts to be permitted to check the contents of the hangar and was never allowed within the installation. There are dozens of other top-ranking persons, but I think you will all recognize the label of Barry Goldwater. I don't recognize that person. Now, don't be confused by names and places, for I will point out something right now. You cannot trust anyone in the government or military at this point. At one point, there was actually a tug of war going on between various branches of the government as to who was to get final access to these spacecraft. Then, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover said in a signed memo, "We must insist upon full access to the discs discovered." For instance, in the Louisiana case, the Army grabbed the discs and would not allow the FBI to have it for examination. Then, similarly, in 1973, Henry Kissinger telexed your embassy in South Africa to attempt to recover a UFO that had gone into the jungle there. Note, that was a craft from Coldis, very friendly with the people in the area, for there are exchange bases there, where Coldashians experience routine earthly missions. But somehow a crashed or disabled craft is up for grabs. But these ones proclaim to wish to bring these bits of information and covered up findings to the public. Ha ha ha. I love that you guys are talking about this. The MJ-12 committee. Have you heard about MJ-12? What's his name talks about this? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of his name right now. MJ-12 committee. I want to note here, but we'll discuss substance later, that Henry Kissinger and J. Edgar Hoover were, and Mr. Kissinger is, a major player in the Operation Majestic 12. David Wilcox. David Wilcox talks about MJ-12, Majestic 12. The grandest and most horrendous cover-up known yet to man. For through that group and ones complementing it, your planet has been sold down the tubes. Oh, wow. Yes. Holy cow. This has been talked about on YouTube, so it should be fine to talk about it. In 1954, President Eisenhower, by secret executive memorandum, established a permanent committee to be known as Majority 12, MJ12, to oversee and conduct all covert activities concerned with the alien question. This was created to explain the purpose of questionable activities and clandestine above top secret meetings, which speculative contents were being leaked to the Congress and the press. Majority 12 was made up of Nelson Rockefeller, the Director of Central Intelligence, Alan Welsh Dulles, the Secretary of State, John Foster Dulles, the Secretary of Defense, Charles E. Wilson, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Arthur W. Radford, the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, those three-letter systems, J. Edgar Hoover, and 6 men from the Executive Committee of Council on Foreign Relations known as the Wise Men. It was claimed these men were all members of a secret society of scholars that called themselves the Jason Society, whose members in turn supposedly came from the prestigious societies of Harvard and Yale, the Scroll and Key and Skull and Bones. Dun, 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 dun. The nutty ones. The nutty ones. The Wise Men were key members of the Council on Foreign Relations. There were 12 members, including the first 6, from government positions, thus Majority 12. This group was made up over the years of the top officers and directors of the Council of Foreign Relations, and later the Trilateral Commission. Here's a name you guys are going to know. George Bush, Gordon Dean, and Zbigniew Brzezinski were prominent among them. Yep. The most important and influential of the wise men who served on MJ-12 were John McCloy, Robert Lovett, Averell Harriman, Charles Bolin, George Kennan, and Dean Acheson. Their policies were to last well into the decade of the 1970s. It is significant to mention here that President Eisenhower, as well as the first 6 members of MJ-12, were members from the government and were also members of the Council on Foreign Relations. In November of 1955, the 12 was issued establishing a study committee to explore all factors which are involved in the making and implementing of foreign policy in the nuclear age as a neatly laid out plan to camouflage the real point of the matter, the alien question and problem. By secret executive memorandum in 1954, President Eisenhower had commissioned the study group to examine all the facts, evidence, lies, and deceptions and discover the truth of the alien question. MJ-12 was a cover, which was necessary when the press began inquiring as to the purpose of regular meetings of such important persons. And these meetings were first dubbed the Quantico meetings, which began in 1954 and were held at Quantico Marine Base. What else happened in 1954, guys? Airl's story happened in 1954. Ding, ding, ding. Wow. The Council on Foreign Relations plot thickens. 35 members were members of the Council on Foreign Relations, who were members of the aforementioned secret scholars groups. Dr. Zbigniew Brzezinski was the study director for the first 18 months. Dr. Henry Kissinger was the group study director for the second 18 months, which would begin in the late fall of 1955. Yes, Nelson Rockefeller was often a participant and arranged facilities for such secret meetings on his property, which could not be reached other than by air. And this was a bit later in the scenario as it became too public to meet at Quantico. The group roster is a literal who is who, among them just for starters, Dr. Edward Teller, Maj. General Richard C. Lindsay, Lieutenant General James N. Gavin, Major General James McCormick, Jr., and General Walter Bedell Smith. Gordon Dean was chairman. Kissinger's early role. By the time Dr. Kissinger took over as director in November 1955, the meetings were still being held at the Marine base in Quantico, Virginia, and were then known as Quantico II. Then Mr. Rockefeller built the retreat in Maryland, which could only be reached by air, so the group's MJ-12 could meet away from public scrutiny. This place bore the code name your government children love code names, the Country Club. Rightfully so in this instance, as there were elaborate living, dining, recreation, meeting, and library facilities built in, as well as state-of-the-art communication systems, which were also monitored illicitly. I wonder what AT&T would know about that sort of thing. A public announcement was made that the study group was officially ended in 1956. And this announcement was followed by Mr. Kissinger's results in 1957. And his document was entitled Nuclear Weapons and Foreign Policy by Henry A. Kissinger. It was published for the Council on Foreign Relations by Harper & Brothers, New York. Funny thing here, Mr. Kissinger wrote the document, at least 85% of it, while he was at Harvard. The plot thickens. Mr. Kissinger became totally different in his behavior as never before nor since. He would leave home very early each morning and return late each night without speaking to anyone or responding to anyone's queries. Obviously, the secret meetings continued in great seriousness. The presence and actions of aliens during this time was most certainly a shocker to Mr. Kissinger, who was dedicated under threat of death if he had divulged information. His marriage did not survive this period of time. UFO study results. Now, let us write of the true findings of the group, which have also leaked into the public as knowledge. The major finding and decision was that the public could not be told, as it was believed that it would most certainly lead to economic collapse. You will see later how they managed this facet through International Monetary Fund, Trilateral Commission, World Bank, Federal Reserve, and countless others, which I fully plan to count for you. It was also stated that it would surely cause a collapse of the religious structure. Yes, God and Jesus Christ, not to mention all those other indoctrinated clubs, could not survive such a truthful blow. Also, knowledge and truth would cause national panic, which would lead into anarchy, and thus at all costs and any expense to the taxpayer, of course, cover-up would be maintained. Now, back to Mr. Kissinger's public appeal for information data to be brought forward, along with prior petition of J. Edgar Hoover for same. How does it look to you? Do you really believe he wanted to tell you neat taxpayers all about spacemen and funny little airplanes? Exactly, Yaya. Exactly. The government role. Now for the unthinkable, and hear me well. I mean, hear me really well, for you are dealing with ones who will stop at nothing to keep the truth from you. Your own military and government have killed your own citizens who plan to release information and set up false evidence about crashed craft, deliberate and without provocation. Then produce falsified findings all the way to the top government officials, like your president, to be buried in even deeper secrecy. Well, it is all coming public, little ones. Now, here is what they reported officially. A major finding was that the aliens were using humans and animals for a source of glandular secretions, enzymes, hormonal secretions, blood, and in horrible genetic experiments. The aliens explained these actions as necessary to their survival. They stated that their genetic structure had deteriorated and that they were no longer able to reproduce, and also their planet was unable to survive for a much longer period of time. They claimed that if they were unable to improve their genetic structure, their race would soon cease to exist. What a bunch of you-know-what. And they're screaming. This is in big letters. Big letters. Yes, adrenochrome. If you were in such trouble, would you go to a place where the people and the planet are even in worse shape? If you have technology to get to Earth, you could certainly get to any one of billions of other inhabited planets where technology and life is superb beyond comprehension. Well, the group claimed to look upon these explanations with suspicion also, or so they presented on the documents. Since our weapons are literally useless against the aliens, absolute truth, MJ-12 has decided to continue friendly diplomatic relations with them until such time as we are able to develop a technology which would then enable us to challenge them on a military basis. Overtures would have to be made to the Soviet Union and other nations to join forces for the survival of humanity. Humanity is humanity's worst and only deadly enemy. In the meantime, we need to develop plans to research and construct weapons systems using conventional and nuclear technology, which can hopefully bring us to parity. Okay, the results of the research were projects Joshua and Excalibur. Whoa. Excalibur. Joshua was a weapon captured from the Germans, which was capable of shattering 4 to 6 inch thick armor plate at a range of approximately 2 miles, using low-frequency sound waves. And it was hoped that this weapon might be useful against the alien craft and beam weapons. Now, Excalibur is also a real dandy. It was a weapon carried by missile to some 30,000 feet, AGL, not to deviate from designated target more than some 50 meters. Would penetrate 1,000 meters of tufa hard-packed soil, such as that found in New Mexico. Now, why would anyone want to penetrate 1,000 meters over 3,000 feet into New Mexico soil and would carry a 1 megaton warhead? Do you suppose it was intended to possibly destroy the aliens in their underground bases, which your government built for them? So be it. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Joshua is tucked away, having been successfully tested, awaiting better other weapons as mentioned above. Excalibur did not get well underway until recently, and now there is an unprecedented effort to further perfect this weapon. Of course, a weapon that misses its target by some 50 meters is not of great threat to any of us out here in the cosmos. Sorry about that. You also assume that you can get to our craft with such a foolish thrust system. It is your accidents that endanger us. when we get called in to shut down your chain reactions. Those scenarios are on audio tape, and we shall publish them also as time permits. Then you ones pick at and destroy some of the most wondrous of God's creation when you deliberately destroy the ones whose systems are chlorophyll-based and process food into energy, much the same as plants. This was the case with the live alien recovered from an accidental crash landing in Roswell, New Mexico, named EBE, Extraterrestrial Biological Entity. He was taken in 1949 and became ill and died in mid-1952. I shall talk about him also, but for now, let me tell you, Earthmen, something important. These aliens came directly upon request and directly to bases already operational by your military, and the little gray men, they hold the secret for survival in a greenhouse environment of high nitrogen and carbon dioxide atmosphere, along with high temperature endurance. They could not, however, endure the high temperature that burned them to cinders. You ones have a lot of debts to pay your cosmic brethren, my friends. Dharma, take a break. I see you are going to pass out, and I don't need a sick secretary, little one. Go get thy balance back, and we will continue. Wow. This is a great story, isn't it? Great story. So, yep, that's, wow. Of course, it's educational purposes only. It is a story. It's what I'm reading to you. It's the Phoenix Journals. Yep. Always entertainment. It's always entertainment. We are on a big screen. Yep. All right. Do you guys want to go to TikTok and discuss? I just can't believe that we've been discussing Airl, and then they're going to talk about it in the Phoenix Journals. It's blowing my mind. Yes, Amy Lynn. Yes. There's some stuff about it on YouTube. The Majestic 12. Absolutely, hippie. Love you so much. Yeah, the Majestic 12 disclosure. That like I said, what is his name? Wilcock. David Wilcock talks about it. Yep. I'll see you guys on TikTok. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Off to TikTok we go.